Hello, welcome to the second video on my new channel here. I am so appreciative of you being here and hanging out with me on this channel. If you're new here and don't know any idea who I am Angie. Welcome to this little channel I have just started. I also have a other channel where I react to music, give my thoughts and commentary on all types of different artists and music. And if you want to subscribe to that channel, I'll have a link down below. This channel is a little new baby of mine and I am so excited to be continuing this journey on this channel. But I've decided to move all my more movie-centered content that I was trying to put out on my other channel is now going to have a home here on this second channel of mine. So here we are at the beginning of March. I guess by the time this goes out, this will probably be like the middle-ish of March. So of course that means that we have to do the what I watched in the previous month video. So what I watched in February. Now that I'm getting back into watching movies, I'm finally watching all the films I've been wanting to watch for so long but never got a chance to because life got too busy. For so many years, I didn't even realize it, but I was really missing out on so many amazing films. Getting into this hobby again of watching films that I'm realizing, damn, there's so many films I've always wanted to watch and I'm so sad that it took me this long to finally watch them. That's kind of the theme of this month here, February, watching films that I've wanted to watch for so long but never got a chance to. But there is a couple of like newer releases in this month. I really have been just going through the list in my brain of like, oh, I wanted to watch that movie, never did. Oh, I want to watch that movie, never did. Let's watch it in this month, or I guess in February. I think you'll see that as I go through the films I watched. I watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10 movies in February. Cannot believe I'm really watching these films. I had a goal of watching 25 films in 2025 and I'm almost there. I really thought I was gonna only watch like 2 films a month, but previously I really did not make the time to watch films. I was struggling to watch 1 film a month, but now that I've had this new goal, I'm really getting through it. So I think I watched 9 in January. We are definitely gonna hit that goal of 25 films in 2025, I think probably by next month. So 19 films down and 6 to go till I meet the goal, which I think in March we'll definitely get there. I think I'll watch at least 6 films in March. I'm hoping to watch, honestly, 9 or 10 again in March as well. Also, on this channel, I want to end every video with a little song of the day because I want to incorporate kind of what I do on my other channel into this channel just a little bit. At the end of every video, I'm going to tell you guys a song of the day that I'm just loving, a song that I relate to a lot for whatever reason. So stay tuned to check out the first ever song of the day at the end of this video. But without further ado, let's jump into this video. Let's talk about the films I watched in February 2025. The first film I watched on the 2nd of February was The Greatest Showman. This is definitely a movie I've been wanting to watch for so long, but never did. I feel like this is a film I've heard people love so much, so I was really excited to check it out myself. And I really enjoyed it. I love the musical vibe of it all. I definitely think I came in with a little bit of too high of an expectation because I feel like I've heard so many people love this film. So it did let me down a little bit. Definitely had this charm to it that these types of musicals have. It did not let me down on that aspect. It had this really fun charm. It was a little cheesy, but it just felt like a real movie, which I liked. Here I am being like Harry Styles.
You know, my favorite thing about the movie is like it feels like a movie.
Like it just felt like a really good movie musical. It really hit all the spots of like the feel-good musical vibes. Yeah, it was really well performed, really well written. The musical numbers are absolutely phenomenal. And I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, which by the way, if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, I always have my Letterboxd link in the description below. If you want to follow me on there, I would love to follow you back. On the 5th of February, I watched the movie Carry On. This has Taron Egerton in it, right? I think that's his name. I feel like this movie was pretty big over the holidays, but I never got around to watching it until now. So I finally decided to watch it. It was fine. It's just a fine movie. A little unrealistic. I think this movie would have held up, you know, give it maybe 7-8 years ago, in the fact that it was very unrealistic. I feel like films are almost so realistic nowadays. This definitely kind of aired on the like movie magic unrealistic of it all, which was fine. It was just cheesy but cute. Jason Bateman, I can't picture him as being this like evil mastermind. I don't know. The whole heist in general I felt was like kind of ridiculous, but it was again just an easy fun watch. Nothing like, you know, where I had to really like give my brain power to, which is fine. I love a good movie like that. I don't need every movie to be like this insane spectacular film. It's just a fun film to just throw on and enjoy. I rated it 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. The next day I then watched Babygirl. This was a big change from the 2 films I had just watched. Wow. wow. I mean, the opening scene alone, it is a sexy, sexy film. There's a lot to say about the politics behind Nicole Kidman's character being more of a powerful boss and the kind of power that she has over an intern and all that. There's a lot to say about that, but what I kind of really enjoyed about this film was the talk of female pleasure. I feel like it really spoke about female pleasure in such a way that I have never really seen a film talk about. Like, I felt like this was a film written and directed by a female, you know? Like, it felt like it was very female driven. Was it? Who's directed by? Halila, yes, the Queen Helena. She directed this movie. Oh, along with Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I really like that whole aspect of it, but I don't know. I think I just don't like Nicole Kidman personally. Every time I see her in a film, I just kind of cringe a little bit. I don't know. I don't like her as an actress, and I don't want to be mean, but I don't know. I don't like her acting, so I think that kind of took me out of it. But Harrison, what's his name? Harris Dickinson. Oh, again, very female gaze, and I love that. I think take away all the sex and stuff, it really doesn't leave much for me to really enjoy. Not that I enjoy the sex, but I guess the explicit nature of this film was needed to convey what we were trying to say here, which is about female pleasure and honestly getting off how we just are kind of not given that priority. And I don't know, there's a lot to say, but I will just say it was a fine film. Nothing to write home about. Aside from that, I don't really think it was that strong of a film as a whole, so I gave it 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. Then I watched The Holdovers, which was another film I wanted to watch for a while but never got a chance to watch it. It was pretty big, I feel like, over the Christmas kind of break, because it is like a Christmassy film. It's like set during a Christmas break. I really like this film. It just had a lot of heart. I always gravitate towards like coming of age, emotional films, and this was that, I think. It kind of gave Dead Poet Society vibes a little bit. It was so beautifully shot. I think it was shot on film. It just, the colors are beautiful. The performances were absolutely stellar. The performances by the lead, like, young guy, what is his name? Is his name Dominic? Is that who it is? Yes, Dominic Sessa. Oh, loved his performances. Honestly, all the boys' performances in this film are so good. Paul Giamatti is so phenomenal in this film, and oh my god, Davina Joy Randolph was absolutely stellar. So good. So good. I just, everything about this film is so fucking good. You guys just have to go watch it. Just go watch it for yourself. It's such an emotional, moving film that I really enjoyed. I gave it 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. Then I watched We Are Your Friends, which felt like a deja vu watching experience. I feel like I've seen it before because some things felt very familiar, but also some of it didn't. This movie is about basically Zac Efron's character trying to make it big as a big DJ, and him and his friends kind of doing that, and their kind of scheme of doing it all together. The ending is a little cheesy, it kind of makes me cringe a little bit, but I get the sentiment of it all. Zac Efron's just so cute, especially this time frame, like 2015 time frame. He just was at his peak in his cuteness, I must say. It's a good watch. It's a light good watch, and I gave it 3 stars. Honestly, could have given it 2.5, to be honest. I think the reason why I like this film maybe more than others is because I really like the friendship of it all. Though it was a little cheesy at times, I really enjoyed the, like, again, that coming of age kind of vibe, that kind of finding yourself being young and figuring it out, like young adult figuring it out stuff. God, this video is a mess. I don't know. I'm really bad at explaining myself, and I really should probably make scripts for these videos, but this is what you're getting. Oh my god. Then on the 11th of February, I went to my local theater. If you live in Orlando and ever heard of the Angie Theater, you'll know what I'm talking about. I love that place, and I always try to catch different films there when I can. They're kind of having like a week of David Lynch films after his passing. May he rest in peace. And Mulholland Drive was one of the films that they were showing, so me and my friend decided to go check it out. What? I had heard of David Lynch a lot, but I don't think I've ever really watched any of his films before. I've always heard of Mulholland Drive because so many celebrities talk about that film in their Letterboxd top 4 interviews. So whenever my local theater was putting out these films, I was like, we gotta go check it out. What a mindfuck. I knew that he's kind of like trippy director a little bit because I had seen a few episodes of Twin Peaks, the TV show, before, and I believe he written and directed that show. So I knew that this was gonna be a little bit weird, but like, oh my god, this video is a mess. I don't know. I'm really bad at explaining myself, and I really should probably make scripts for these videos, but this is what you're getting. Oh my god. Then on the 12th of February, I went to my local theater. I went to Mulholland Drive. Was one of the films that they were showing, so me and my friend decided to go check it out. What a mindfuck. I knew that his he's kind of like trippy director a little bit because I had seen a few episodes of Twin Peaks, the TV show, before, and I believe he written and directed that show. So I knew that this was a little gonna be a little bit weird, but like, what the fuck? I was so confused by the end of this, and it was kind of scary, and I don't do good with horror films, but this is more like a psychological horror film. The Mind of David Lynch. Like, what? I gave it 3.5 stars. I would have given it 4, but I think I'm just not the audience for a David Lynch film. I could appreciate it. I really do appreciate this film for what a good film it is as a film lover. I think this film stands alone as a really good film because I feel like it almost is like film school in a movie. So I really appreciate that aspect of this movie, and I had to go and like watch videos about this movie to really understand it more that explained everything because I was so freaking confused by the end. And after that, I think I really can enjoy this film and appreciate it a little bit more. Okay, on the 14th of February, on Valentine's Day, I wanted to obviously do something that was kind of Valentine's Day-y, and so I decided to finally check out Say Anything. Say Anything came out in 1989 and it's directed by Cameron Crowe, and I've heard of this movie for so long but never actually watched it, and I finally was able to, and I'm so happy I did. I really enjoyed this movie. John Cusack jumps through the screen in this movie. This movie is an okay film, but John Cusack truly makes it such a good film. Like, without him, this movie would not be as good as it is. His chemistry and his charisma is absolutely phenomenal. I truly fell in love with John Cusack in this movie. Ione, I think is how you say her name, who plays Diane, she was pretty good as well. I think their chemistry could have been a little bit better if we had a different actress. I do wish we saw a little bit more of the relationship being built in this film. It did feel like we saw so much of Diane and her relationship with her father that I kind of feel like it could have used a little bit more exposition, and saw how much she really cared and loved for Lloyd in this film, because we knew he was down bad for her, for sure, but I feel like we didn't really see her gradual fall in love with him as much. I just really fell in love with this film. I really enjoyed it. I thought about it for so long afterwards. I had a little mini hyperfixation with this film for a few weeks. It wasn't as bad as my previous hyperfixations. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Honestly, it could have been a 5-star or even a 4.5-star film if we had just a little bit more of the relationship between Lloyd and Diane and a little bit less of the relationship between Diane and her dad. Then I watched Garden State, which is another film that I wanted wanting to watch forever, that I've heard about, that I just never got a chance to watch. I believe this is actually written and directed by Zach Braff. I've heard this film here and there, the good and the bad, and I actually kind of really enjoyed it. It does give off a little bit of like quirky girl, big sad boy fall in love with her. It does give a little bit of manic pixie dream girl vibe, but I really enjoyed this film. I think it was really honestly beautifully made, but yeah, it was cute. I really liked it. I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. Oh my gosh, then I finally watched Before Midnight. This is the 3rd movie in the Before Sunrise kind of like trio, I guess, from Richard Linklater. I actually really enjoy this film, and I know who Richard Linklater is. I've seen Boyhood and Dazed and Confused. Richard Linklater really does dialogue heavy films honestly so well. I get who he is as a director. He is so relationship dialogue focused. Like, he doesn't really care too much about making the most like flashy film. His films are really like, grounded in relationships. I love that about his films. Not that he's very talented in films as a film director in general, but he definitely has like a style and theme. And throughout the Before Sunrise series, I definitely always felt like, I wish there was a climax. And I feel like this is the first movie we actually really got a climax. And given I know that's not really who Richard Linklater is as a director, that's not the kind of movies he makes, but I did feel like that was missing the other 3 films, and this one I feel like we really got that. And I really actually enjoyed this. It felt like the most real. I feel like this movie was the most real and the most understood of what it was. Like in the other 2 films, I feel like Jesse and Celine can feel a little pretentious, a little privileged a little bit, and I feel like this film really called that out. I really feel like what was needed, what was lacking in the other 2 films, really we got that in this film, and it really, I feel like, made the film a lot better. It's so beautiful. Like when he says, "I've lived my whole life because of the way you sing," my heart, it's just like a beautiful like continuation of the series, and a beautiful honestly ending to this little trio of films. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars. And the last film I watched on the 25th of February, can you call it a film? It's only 30 minutes and it's Avicii, My Last Show. I watched the Avicii documentary, was it last month? Yes, I did. I watched it last month in January, and so I knew I wanted to at some point watch this little like last show because it came up when I was finished watching the documentary, and so I knew I wanted to get back around to watching it, so I finally did. And it was cute. It's only 30 minutes, so I don't know if you can count it as a movie, but I am. You really see how talented he was. You see him doing his magic up on that stage, the way he's able to kind of transport you through his music that he made on his computer. Like, people really underestimate EDM music, truly, and especially Avicii. He just took it to a whole other level. But Avicii was so talented, and to be able to see his last show just is so surreal. Like, he looked so happy on that stage, and to know that was his last show and that he would really tragically pass away is so sad. I gave it 4 stars only because I wish we had a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. It really just goes straight into it, which I guess that's why we did the documentary for, but I just kind of wish there was a little bit more of something else. But at the same time, it was called My Last Show, and it really showed his last show. It felt really short because I think they had to take out big chunks of his songs he performed, I think because of maybe copyright reasons. It felt a little rushed in that aspect, that we didn't get to hear full songs. It felt a little choppy in that aspect. The emotional part of me just really enjoyed it because I love Avicii and I miss him. But that's it. That's all the films I watched in February. I keep on wanting to say March, but we're in March and I'm excited for next month to tell you guys everything I watched this month. Okay, I think I'm gonna end this video here. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today and listening to me ramble on about movies. So I'm gonna get going, but before I do, we have to talk about the song of the day. So the song of the day for this video is going to be Purple Lace Bra by Tate McRae. This is a song I recently found because of her new album that recently came out, and I have really been enjoying it. It's been on repeat, honestly. This whole album has been on repeat. If you guys have yet to check out So Close to What from Tate McRae, definitely do so. It's really good. And Purple Lace Bra is probably one of my favorites on the album. Let me know what your song of the day is down below. Let me know what movies you guys have been watching recently in the comments below. I just hope to see you guys next week on this new channel of mine. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I'll see you then. Bye!